Hey guys, welcome to Euro USD and ES review. I'm going to try to go over both right now. There were some awesome setups on both sides. We'll get to them ASAP. First, I want to start off with Euro USD on a 4-hour chart. Blue lines are macro major levels. They're derived from price action that occurred definitely months ago, often years ago. Some of these blue levels right here are from inflection points from 2022-21 time because we weren't up in this area since then, but they're still working right now. White lines are also derived from past action, but most of the time they're more irrelevant to what the more recent action is. They're the areas where I'm looking for setups to occur, where I'm trying to buy my best setup, a failed breakdown when price goes under a previous low and then goes back up. And then orange lines are more just for confluence, profit taking, sometimes entries. A lot of times the white lines themselves will line up with entries. A quick example would be this low right here is about 12.18. So I would probably want to go long around 12.21, 12.22. This white line right here is 12.23. So that could have been a good place to go long once you got some acceptance, or if the volatility was high and we went right back up. So last I mentioned that on Wednesday I put up a video saying how this is an awesome failed breakdown. We clearly dipped below this low and then bounced right back up. There was more than one entry, I think 3 entries at least, that came back down to this entry level, this white line right here, and then we started going up. Once you're in an active failed breakdown, you can look for longs a little more. If you're below, once you go below this low, for example, now I'd be a little bit more cautious because we lost that level. And then now I'm looking for another failed breakdown, for example, right here of this low, if we lost this low. Otherwise, we could create another new low where we go down, dip, bounce off this, go up a level or two, then start selling back again, and then we can overtake that low. So just some examples of my favorite setup, a failed breakdown. Going back to what we're looking at right now, this is the 4-hour chart of Euro USD. I can definitely say since April 10th, we've been consolidating within this bull flag. If you watch some of my previous videos, my bull flags are very often what the price action is working around. And we've seen multiple tags of bull flags from 100, 150 points below. So you know that they're definitely working. Right now, we're on the top of the bull flag. We're working on the resistance of the bull flag. You can clearly see 1, 2, 3 knocks on that bull flag. If we break through this time, it might be a good long. Eventually, you'd want to be long already. If we go through and come back down, that would not be a good sign, and we'd be heading lower for sure, probably retesting this major zone, this macro level area, if not lower, before going back up. I like to go long. I think longs pay better. Longs happen more often. You might get 3, 4 longs off of one level, off of one zone, uh, and then just one sell off of that zone. A lot of times, market knows people are trying to short, so they're constantly trapping shorts, trapping longs, trapping shorts one more time before taking off. Now let's get back to the action. I'm going to go to a 45-minute chart first. Let me reset the view so we can see what's going on. I left you guys off Thursday around 3 o'clock. We were right here. We had just tested that macro level, and then afterwards, which we did a failed breakout, which is the opposite of a failed breakdown. It's not something I like to trade often, but if you're like eager to short, it's the setup that I would trade. For example, you set a high, you go down, sell, you set a new high above the previous high, and then you go back below that first high, you can short a few points below this high right here. So if I was shorting this, this is about 1384, 1385. So maybe 3, 4 points around here. I'm going to put a red line and just give you an example of where my entry for the short would have been. Just somewhere around here. You want to wait for price action to work. Let's see a 5-minute and see how price reacted around that. So you can see we set a new high and then we started going down. Someone who was too eager would have already shorted at this first shot. The price would have trapped them, went back up. You would have had to use your stop loss probably, and then it finally sold, which is very common for failed breakdowns, but even more common for failed breakouts, which is why I try to avoid them. So going back to 45-minute chart real quick, I just want to look over the action. into Thursday, into Thursday morning, I guess late hours of Thursday evening, I should say. We didn't do much after that sell. We just came down slowly, controlled sell. A couple fake outs here. I was sleeping like a baby around this time, and then I woke up around 6 o'clock on Friday morning. So let's go to a 15-minute chart and show you why I went long, why it worked out, and then why I went long a second time. So when I woke up, we were already consolidating at this support level. This was already set due to previous action. One can clearly see that we was going around this level a lot for a bit. Let's go. So right here, you can see we bounced off of it a couple times. We had a failed breakdown right here. We sold down, back tested it here, tried breaking through, finally broke through. You can see, and then one more back test right here afterwards, which on Thursday morning, we pushed off at that level at one point. So that's the reason why it was a major level for me, beyond anything else. So when we came back down and we were consolidating here, I saw that there was two lows right here and a long consolidation from 4:45 until almost 7, so 2-3 hours. So I did have a feeling that it might just be ready for a little bit takeoff. I saw that we flagged overnight. Notice this sideways angle selling. That's a flag right there. It's not the prettiest flag compared to the bigger one I have, but still a flag. So I took a long around 7:15, 7:30ish when I saw the first push. My usual stop loss would be right below the lowest low. I did have a feeling from experience that sometimes when it's this consolidated, we might get a little bit quick wick like this and then take off. So I did leave a couple points of a space, which I try to do when I have a long that doesn't have much of a stop loss risk. Since I went long around 12:29, 12:30, I went 10 points at least. It was like 12:20ish, 12:21ish, only a 9-point stop loss. That trade worked awesome, level to level at 7:45. It trapped shorts one more time because people were like-minded like me, and they probably had a stop loss close to the slow. Luckily, mine didn't go off, and then went level to level. I sold most of my position at 8 o'clock ish around here, a little bit more up here, and then my 10% was left, which eventually fizzled out. Afterwards, which we got the classic failed breakdown. We have a couple lows, a cluster of lows in this case, right around this area. We lost that low at 9:45. We came back with some high volatility to push through it at 10 o'clock. We waited around that area at 10, during 10:15 afterwards, which I call that acceptance. If you look at a 5-minute chart, just for educational purposes, we're gonna see I noticed that we were just kind of going back and forth consolidating there. I liked that action, so I went long around 12:30, and that worked out great. I still have a runner going in that position right now. If you look at a 15-minute chart now, going back, you can see this right here is a mini bull flag. I guess I'll show you on a 5-minute just so you can see how it's just going back and forth, consolidating sideways, just like I mentioned here. Notice that bull flagging here. So I did know that we were probably going to get a pop, which we did, at which point now we're consolidating again, going into the close on Friday. So this looks very bullish to me. I think if we get a pop, we push through, we should be able to test the macro level above here one more time and possibly definitely hit that bull flag on the top if we can get up there. Okay, so what am I looking for the new setups? The first setup I'm looking for is going to be, I have to do levels again to just reset them, but it will be possibly undercut of these lows somewhere around the level that I'll find here and then going back up. So that'll give bulls one more chance to add to their position and then trap some shorts who are just always eager to short like I mentioned. After that, which I'm looking for, ideally a failed breakdown of this low. We might not get down there. They might just use this low right here. So that will be a dip in recovery. So real quick, let's go over what that looks like. The first setup I'm looking for is for what the little selling would be, maybe a dip in recovery of this level and take off. We undercut these lows and then you go long a couple points above around 1345. If that doesn't work out, ideally I'm looking for a dip in recovery of this low. Now it's not going to be as simple as go down and go up. Typically you might get go down, go up, go back down a little bit, maybe under, maybe above this low. So you want to be patient, but that will be the second setup. That would also be a failed breakdown. Both of these will be failed breakdowns, but also kind of in a way dip in recoveries because they're not exactly super clear lows. This is a clear low. You can see the V-like shape. Ideally, what will be awesome here is we tag a level here that I'll find, and then we go back above this, hold that, and then go upwards and onward. The last setup I'll mention now, for now, because the lower you get, the more things you'll be looking at the same failed breakdowns, will be a back test of this breakout level. We can clearly see we broke out from here. So what you're gonna get will be just a clear tag, maybe even down here. Oftentimes it'll be right here exact. If it doesn't quite get there, that's fine. You can go with the flow depending on how long it stays down there. You gotta be actively watching. If you miss that, maybe it gets close by, then you want to take the failed breakdown of this low as well. So those are the options if we sell. Now, what happens if we pop up directly Sunday evening into Monday? Then I'm looking for a level reclaim here. We've already tested it once, twice, 3 times and sold. So if we start pushing back up, which I think we will, most likely will on the open on Sunday, but then again, we have been selling and the market is bullish over in the US. So I wouldn't be surprised with a nice sell, set up another failed breakdown before going back up. But anyways, if we do go back up without going down, the reclaim of this level is the long I'm looking at with the stop loss below these lows somewhere. That would just look like pretty much at this point, price could go either up right here, back test it a little bit before going up, or hit it one more time, come back a little bit, and then go up. At which point you go along here, right, for this setup. If you get a setup like this, you could still go along somewhere around here. Those are just setups I'm looking for right now in Euro USD. Let me know what you think. I'm going to do ES on another video. Have a great day, guys.